Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War raid stream, week 29, day 7. So today, of course, it is a Sunday, so I'll be going over all of the event stuff going into next week. Most of it we're getting pretty much right at the beginning of the week as far as newer content, because we actually have no event next Friday on Valentine's Day, but it's Valentine's Day, so go enjoy Valentine's Day. But other than that, here's all the things that we have going on throughout the week. We do have a decent amount, though, given that nothing's actually happening on the weekend. But, well, technically that's not true. We are getting a pet this Saturday. But more on that in a moment. But anyways, first things first, the Glory Troop. This is the Glory Troop that's going to be coming into the game tomorrow. You'll be able to stock up on brown-green. I definitely don't need more of those, though. I've been in Zasian forever. I think we're over like 1,000 brown-green on this account. But if you need still to upgrade anything, there's this. It's a human knight, which quite a few human knights out there. As far as their ability, she buries an ally, then gives 20 armor to them. And if the ally is a knight, it doubles the effect. Every single troop that has this effect is essentially useless within the game. Anything that just does a buff and just immediately ends its turn for 12 mana, there's like almost like a dozen or 2 dozen. I feel like these keep adding this type of troop. I'm not sure why, because it is such a useless typing where it just does it a buff and then double if they're a certain type. I'm not sure why they keep adding them. They're all useless, and she's no different. So, yeah, that's pretty much all to say about her. Pretty cool art, though. But unfortunately, we're never really going to see it because it's never really going to be used. Other than that, this is a different story, though. This thing will be used quite a bit. Sir Quentin Hadley. Why must they give the better troops the harder names? But look at that. It's this Knight Captain. There you go. Nice, simple dead content troop. And then for the one that's actually going to be good, Sir Quentin Hadley. I guess that's correct. Anyways, he's a Night Beast, legendary. He'll be in the event key drop table all next week. And as far as what he does, he converts all purple to yellow and all greens to skull. So a double skull spammer, or, a double converter with one of them being skull spam. And then it deals damage to 2 random enemies. This is somewhat unique in that all of the other double converters don't really do damage. The closest one that does is Inferno King. However, he doesn't do as much damage as this thing will be doing. Plus, it ends up hitting 2 rather than a split damage to all enemies, which ends up wasting a bit of its damage. Won't be as good for removing barrier, but still has a lot of potential. It's 50% mana start to all knights, which means it's the first of the double converts that has damage that can actually have half mana start, because Inferno King does not have half mana start. Other than that, he has 25% score reduction, which synergizes pretty well with the fact that he is double convert, and the other thing's kind of useless, just a little bit of armor to knights. But yeah, this thing has some potential. Obviously, it'll be used in various knight synergies. It might be used with War. It might be used with Queen Jezebel. I don't think it'll be used with the hero class. Death Knight's no longer considered a knight, so the only knight hero class is now Knight itself, which is really, really bad. It's arguably the worst hero class in the entire game. However, it technically has half mana start now. But there are a lot of things that are under human knight category that might be able to synergize with this and a Queen Jezebel, because Queen Jezebel is noteworthy in that it gives all humans 2 armor per turn, and you can stack that with other human knights and get all of them getting basically 2 HP per turn, except for this thing, since it does count as a beast. But yeah, it's going to have some potential. We'll see exactly what ends up happening out with it. Obviously, the coloration of his convert is probably going to be the more noteworthy thing. And artwork for him is pretty cool, too. Has like a glowy sword, has like the Griffin Knight shields, literally on a Griffin as well. Pretty cool overall. But yeah, and he should be decently meta as well, which will be nice, so we can actually end up using him. Other than that, we have a few other things going on throughout the week, which I mostly just went to this page to kind of show them, because it's quite a few smaller things that will keep on happening. So today is the 10th, or tomorrow's going to be the 10th, I should say. So, of course, we're getting Guild Wars, pretty standard Guild Wars, nothing really noteworthy to mention there. It's just how Guild Wars always runs. For this Tuesday, it is actually very noteworthy what faction is occurring. It is Silver Necropolis. Aside from Silver Necropolis being a pretty decent delve to farm, not the absolute best, but pretty decent. Aside from that, it is very noteworthy in that you can buy Life and Death on this Tuesday. This Tuesday will be the only time you'll be able to buy Life and Death for like the next 4 or 5 months. So if you've been still needing Life and Death, next week's the week, because on Tuesday you'll be able to buy it for 500 gems, or in the Soul Forge for some amount of diamonds and those other resources. I would advise probably doing it with gems, since it's a pretty good event to be doing anyways. Yeah, I highly advise not leaving next Tuesday without Life and Death. So definitely make sure to consider that, as it's one of the better weapons, if not the absolute best weapon, pretty much in the game. It's definitely top 10, arguably even top 5. and could even say it's the absolute best depending on the situation. I still don't feel like it's absolute best just because it doesn't mana accumulate, but it's a pretty solid weapon, particularly for Guild War defense. However, it can be used for other purposes, and it is Guild War next week, so you will be able to use it for that purpose. Though do keep in mind, if you do use it on defend, you can only use it for 1 day, as weapons do count as a unique troop thing. Other than that, we're going to be getting a Battle Crasher of Imp of Love. Not sure what resource it's going to be giving, as we don't currently know, but I assume it's going to be like gold or something, or glory. But we'll have a bunch of Battle Crashers of Imps, and then we'll be able to get a little bit more resources off of them during that time. That'll probably be all the way till Valentine's Day, as far as how long it'll last. Oh, never mind. It'll last all the way through the weekend. It actually tells us right there. So that'll last from Wednesday throughout the entire weekend. Other than that, we already have the flash offers going. I think it was 100 gems and a VIP key today. Nothing really too good, but we'll have to see what the free one is and what the other ones are as they go through. Other than that, we also have a pet this weekend. Since we don't have anything being given as far as a weekend event, we will be getting the old event pet of Valentini for this Saturday. We're also going to be getting the Valentine's Day pet itself for Wednesday. So basically 2 new pets for quite a few people then. This Wednesday is the natural new pet, the 2020 Valentine's pet. And then on Saturday, if you didn't get last year's Valentine's pet, they'll have last year's Valentine pet running for the entirety of the day this Saturday. So that's going to be pretty cool. And other than that, the class event this week is for the Useless Knight, given that it's from the Kingdom of Sword's Edge. And that's pretty much that. Nothing else really happening this week. Most useful things are the new pets, or technically new pets, and everything that's happening this Monday. And you can pick up Life and Death this Tuesday. So that's pretty much a good majority of what's actually going to be happening. Not really much else. We don't have any kind of Friday event, so a rather tame weekend. We do still have Battle Crashers going on throughout the weekend, but obviously that's nowhere near a Gnome event or some kind of other event. But nothing else. Still adds a little bit of resources. If you want to go use the time to level up hero classes, you'd be able to gain a little bit more loot from that, because Battle Crashers do appear and explore. Most of them normally do. But yeah, it's pretty much everything going down this weekend. Most of it coming out this Monday. So we'll definitely be messing around with that new legend, see what it will end up doing. As I mentioned, yeah, today's was just a VIP key with 100 gems. Nothing really too special. However, that doesn't count towards your cap of VIP keys if you were buying them in the shop. So it counts as under a separate thing if you did want to stock up on them. They're not really that good to stock up on. A VIP key is basically worth 10 gem keys, essentially. So you can just get 10 gem keys instead. Basically do the exact same thing. And we'll see what the free one is once we get to that point, being handed out exactly on Valentine's Day. But aside from that, last stream we ended up getting Barbarian to level 40. I don't think I ever bothered giving him his perk. We still also haven't really heard anything on what they're going to be doing. Or actually, did I even double check? I checked the post and I didn't see it. I don't think they're really making much mention of it until later. But I need to go double check. Did anyone else see? I need to go double check. Let me do that actually right now. What on earth is up with this thing? Well, first things first. Let's see if it's actually working correctly now. And then we can go from there. So let's go for the extra bit of attack. Let's see if it's working now. And go get some levelage on it. Actually, let's go do it in one of these battles. Clear these out real quick. We need it anyways. So let's take a red and see what happens. If we don't gain attack, it's still broken. Oh, Glory Gnome. Nice. Okay, let's take the red. Do we gain attack? Nope, it's still broken. Yay. Still bugged, as to be expected. They might not even be mentioning anything on until Salty stream. Ooh, I need more of that pet. And 1,000 glory. Very nice. A lot of things good all at once. But let me double check. I didn't actually check all the last dev posts. I just checked to see if the event thing was up, but I didn't bother checking all the dev posts. Let's see. What happened to my other message I made? Let's see. Oh, something was mentioned about it 3 hours ago. What did happen to my other message, though? Did it get deleted? Let's see. I'm actually confused. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? It's like disappeared. Let's see. Let's go check. 2 things I want to go check real quick. What was every single last post I made? Oh, that's weird. It's just gone. What happened to it? Did they delete it? It's actually just literally gone. I don't think I accidentally ever deleted it. They deleted it. I'm not even sure what happened. But, yeah, the other post I made didn't get... I'm not sure what happened with it. It, like, disappeared. It doesn't even show in my activity log as if I posted it, even though it was up for some time. Weird. That or maybe they combined it together or moved it to a different thread. But if they moved it to a different thread, it would still show up under my thing. But anyways, Not that big a deal. What I wanted to check though was what was the full post that was mentioned right here? It was mentioned 3 hours ago. So OMG, this is from Kafka. I forget what her role is, but it's kind of like a different role than Salty, but kind of overlaps, I think. Actually, what was Kafka's role? I can't even remember. But anyways, it's someone on the dev team. Let's see. This took me so long to go through due to the feedback. Please only post information or helpful things about bugs when posting in this section of the forum. Oh, that might have been why they ended up replacing out the other thing. If you'd like to leave feedback about how you'd like the class to work or complain about devs, please do so in the feedback section of the forum or the official news post. I promise you won't delete or touch your posts about devs there as long as they don't break forum rules. How do I break forum rules? It's just really important in the bug section to keep things about what the bug is, blah, 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 developer, who are there, da, 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 da. Let's see. For the record, that takes 2 seconds to test. Doesn't work. This isn't mentioning anything on what will happen to it. Let's see. So much rambling. Let's see. That didn't really say any verdict on what's happening with it, other than the fact that it probably will be reverted. That's weird. Anyways, Salty will probably mention something on it tomorrow. Anyways, read Kafka's post. I read most of it. It just seemed to kind of mention forum roles and stuff like that. But yeah, it was basically working correctly when they were testing on their end, but then when it actually went live, it wasn't. It was basically the bottom line. But yeah, based on what I can tell, it looks like it was an unforeseen bug, and it'll probably be reverted back in the very near future, which is unfortunate because that means Barbarian class will become useless. It's the anti-fun police. I know, they need to just leave it like that. Okay, let's see, we'll grab that for now. Get our splitty splits. Oh, did I just see attributes? I need to go grab that attributes. There we go. I was hello! Also, I didn't even say hello to anyone yet. Hello! Let's go all the way back. Hello, William. Hello, Lochner. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Jefferson. Hello, Army X-Tube. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, Dotero. Hello, Matt. Hello, William. Hello, Haley. Hello, Jellybean. Hello, Foro. Hello, Mobarashi. Hello, hello, Tom. Hello, Brian. Does this make Night class okay? No, it's still pretty much useless. That hasn't really changed. I don't think Knight really has any kind of unique combination that makes it good. I believe it had that, let's see, I know it had Guardian Tree, which has Dispel. It has that one weird tree that has like +5 attack and 10% extra EXP, and that tree tends to be pretty useless. I forget what it's called. And I think it had some kind of other support tree, like that one that has +3 magic, +1 magic. And overall, it just has a lot of really bad trees. Guardian Tree, I believe, is the only viable one it has of its 3 trees. And its traits are useless, which is one of the reasons why it's not considered that good of a hero class. Because only 1 of 3 trees are good, and it doesn't have any good traits at all. Let's see. Trying to read through everything. Hello, Adrian! Yeah, Kafka made a post on it a couple... Oh, yeah, let me get the link to Kafka's post. I'll go post that real quick. If any of you want to read it in its full depth. Where'd it go? I just had it marked. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Here it is. I believe this is the right one. Let me just copy paste to make sure it is. Let's see. Nope, it's post number 35. Let me go redo that then. Wrong number. Oops, now I did 36. Fail. Wait, never mind. 36 was right. Wait, why is it showing 30? That's weird. Oh, because 30... What? Why is it not working properly? Oh, it's 41. All the other posts got deleted, that's why. Gosh, they deleted a lot of them then, if that was 41. Hold up, I need to see. How many posts did they delete from this thread? Let's see. Did I copy the one with 41? Because one's up to 41 is where it was. Let's see. Yeah, they deleted like half the thread. You can tell because you can tell based on the post number. Because even if posts get deleted, you can still see what number all the non-deleted ones are. And it skips from like 20-something to 41. Or that's quite a bit of things. Yeah, it actually skips all the way from 27 to 41. And that's not even all the ones that got deleted. But here you guys go. There is the actual post that mentions everything. I read like half of it. Kind of skimmingly. Because most of it seems to kind of repeat a bit. But, yeah, there's the full post. Salty will probably mention more things about it tomorrow night. That's probably the only thing we're going to be getting from the devs up until that point. Oh no, Jewel Gnome, you don't have anything good. Every single drop you have other than Volky I don't need. Even the good diamond drops I don't need because we have infinite diamonds, or essentially infinite diamonds. And yeah, all we get is 20 amethysts, which is worse than a pet gnome. Pet gnome can only appear in PvP and arena. So if you're not farming in either of those two locations, it's actually impossible to find a pet gnome. But only PvP and arena drop pet gnomes. Oh, you've been grinding PvP? Okay, that has a chance of finding a pet gnome. Yeah, it can take a while. During gnome events, you can pretty consistently get your guild getting one every single hour. But unless you have multiple people constantly in your guild farming at any given hour, you're probably not going to constantly have it every hour otherwise. Because even if you are farming the entirety of an hour, it is possible to not find a single pet gnome over the course of an hour in PvP. Definitely possible. All right, we still need 13 more copies of this thing, so let's go do that. Oh, we're already set to Barbarian class. Perfect. Still want to gain more XP towards it, of course. And we'll get this Phoenix. This was one of my favorite pets as well for a while, before it was even released. I'm not even sure what my absolute favorite pet is in the current state of the game right now. This one's pretty high up there, that little Phoenix that looks like Sunbird. Sunbird still looks better, the actual Sunbird. But this one's still pretty nice. The little mini Sunbird. Unfortunately, not full mana there. And then we can go to key. What do we want to take here? Grab our gold, full mana. Of course it's not full mana. We need a double search for that to full. Only one of them did. Hopefully that's enough for key, and then we can get rolling into key. I still love key combo. I said ages ago that even if key was never meta, or, you know, like stopped being meta, I would still use it. And, yeah, I still love using it. It's one of those kind of gold farming teams that has kind of always been good for ages now. I don't think I've ever done a video going over gold farming teams. And by gold farming teams, I mean specifically the ones that or increase your max gold capacity. I've always been using them, but I've obviously since Cedric existed, which ended up bringing that kind of type of team into the game. But I don't think we ever did actually cover a video on it. Mostly because we go and use it like literally every day. Let's see. What do we even take here? We'll grab that down for now. Didn't get anything from the cascade there. Take the other brown. Oh, hello, Steve. Welcome. Reset is in about 6 hours from now, yes. It's at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in... What is that? That is 5.5 hours from now. Oh, no, 4.5 hours. Math, how does it work? No, 5.5. I was right the first time. Because 4 goes to that, 5.5. Yeah. And 5 hours and 34 minutes is when reset time is, as of this exact time right now. By the time this video gets posted, if anyone's watching after the fact, obviously it's less time than that. Easiest way to check is to check the troop thingy. So if we go to any of the event page stuff, like this one, we can see it's exactly 5 hours and 32 minutes from now. Actually, technically it's 33, but it rounds down. But yeah, so in 5 hours and 32 minutes. You can always just check one of these to see when it ends up ending. And it will tell you. And right there it tells you as well. Except without the day mark. There we go. Which doesn't really matter because it's 0 days. Oh yeah, you probably won't be able to get the Doomed Crossbow then if you don't have the resources for it right now. Unless you're just missing the red shards. In which case you might be able to ever so slightly make it. If you can get enough red pets within that time. But even if you got 5 red pets, I'm not sure if that'd be enough to cover whatever your gap is. And also it's luck if you do or do not get a red pet. So theoretically, you would actually realistically only get 1 red pet within that time. Because the chance of finding each color is about the same. It depends on how many pets of each color there is, but I believe that comes out to almost the same chance for each. You're missing 10 Celestials. That is farmable within that amount of time. However, you'd probably have to farm literally that whole entire time. You can get 1 off of doing 50 gems into dungeons if you haven't already done that today. Other than that, you're basically going to have to farm the rest of them off of doing Explore. And just keep doing Quick Kill Explore on like level 2 with a Rowan team. And keep doing that over and over again. And hopefully you'll get lucky enough to get Celestials off it. Yeah, you could also craft them, but you want to be careful how many reds you have left. Otherwise, crafting them would make your reds dip under the amount. Let's see. We'll go for that destroy. Another thing to consider is if you wanted to try for the mythic, and you still have some keys left. Glory keys, gem keys, and if you happen to be throwing any, VIP keys, all have chance for Celestial Trait Stones. You wouldn't be getting too many through that method, but you would be getting some. And if you had some of those keys on reserve, you could not only get the potentially the new mythic, but you would also get some Celestials along the way. But it's pure luck if you do or don't. Oh, do challenges have a guarantee Celestial on it? Oh yeah, you get a bunch of trait stones. Wait, I thought it was arcane guaranteed though, not celestial. Is there a guarantee celestial on one of them? I actually completely forget. Let's see, we'll go for that. Key to key. But yeah, if every single kingdom had 1 guarantee celestial, and you didn't do them all yet, that would definitely be able to cover it. I could have sworn it was arcanes though, not guarantee celestial. Oh, he meant for the jewels. Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Yeah, because I could have sworn it was a guarantee arcane. It was like runics into arcane for the trait stones. Okay, there's all of our rewards for that. How many birds did we get? 2. I think we need another 11. Yep. Get the other 11 soonish. Other than that, but yeah, as far as Celestial farming, you're probably just going to have to spam out Explore most likely. And just do a low-level Explore over and over again. Trying to think of what other methods you might be able to get. But as I mentioned, Glory and Gem Keys do have a small chance of getting it. Every Glory Key has a 0.1% chance of getting one. So technically every 1,000 Glory Keys could potentially have about 1 Celestial in it. And as far as Gem Keys are a... where to go? Gem Keys are not that much higher, actually. What, really? Interesting. I never realized how much better Glory Keys were for getting Celestials than Gem Keys. Gem Keys are only a 0.1% higher each. Wow, Glory Keys are actually pretty good for Celestials then. At least relative to Gem Keys. Possibly even relative to VIP keys. No, actually, they're really high. They're 4%. So VIP keys do have a better Celestial rate than both of them. However, I never realized that. Glory keys actually have a better Celestial Trait Stone drop rate than gem keys if you take in their overall value. Because about 9 to 10 Glory keys is worth about 1 gem key. And gem key only has double the rate of Glory keys. So theoretically, if you break it down based on value, you're actually getting, what is that? 5 times more Celestials from opening Glory keys than you do from gem keys. I never realized that. That's a weird statistic with them, but interesting. So yeah, I guess if you had a bunch of spare Glory and you don't have the new Mythic yet, you could try doing it that way. However, it's only 1 in 1,000 chance, so that's pretty rare, obviously. But it is technically the best key to get it off of, other than VIP keys, but they're pretty expensive to get. But even if you break down VIP keys cost, let's see, 4% for 50 gems. What does that break down to? What's every single Glory key worth again? About 1 gem. So if we break that down, what is that? 40 gems, 0. Yeah, it's about the same rate. Technically, a VIP key is still slightly better, but yeah, if you count a VIP key as, what is it again? 45 gems? I believe it's 45 gems. If you count each VIP key as 45 gems when you buy them in bulk, that is basically 45 0.1% chances you could get off a Glory key. Does anyone know what 45 0.1% chances are? I believe that is lower than a VIP key's 4%, but not by much. Not by much at all. I think that's like a 28 something percent or something, or like a low 30%. But anyways, or did I say 30%? I meant 3%. But obviously not 30%. That'd be way higher. Anyways, let's go do dungeons real quick. It's Diamond Day. Gotta go claim our diamond and free Celestial. Let's go do that with what's his name? Where's my? There it is. Grab this thing. What are you doing reviving on us? If that red storm goes away, we're not going to have enough damage to kill you. Luckily, we still did. That reminds me, I'm not running magic right now. Real quick. There we go. If I don't run magic, there will be some battles we actually can't one-shot. On to the next one. Yeah, Mother of Darkness, I don't know. It's a weird kind of in-between. It has potential. I just don't feel like it's meta at the moment, but it might be into the future. It's definitely a good true damage synergy troop, and always will be a good true damage synergy troop. Which is something that Oriali had going for the longest time too, and still does. Is that eventually there'll be true damage compositions that will incorporate them. Yeah, there are teams that work with her. Just most of the stuff I found just works rather inconsistently or rather slow. Good evening, Zeddicus. Welcome. There's our free Celestial. This is, I believe, the only guarantee easy Celestial in the entire game every single week. Is that one off of the 50 gems you could do here. There's quite a few others that you can get, but that's like the only 100% one, I think. That and through some of the challenges. Like I believe raids might even give Celestial at some point. Or is it just Arcanes? Could have sworn to give Celestial somewhere in here. That's weird. It actually doesn't. I never realized that. Always thought it did. No, it does. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. 3 Celestials. If you haven't done Portal 8 yet, you could get 3 of them off of there. I was gonna say, I could have sworn there was some amount, and there is. Very low amount, though. Oh, we already finished out everything here, right? Yeah. We have like 16 battles doing nothing because we don't even need them. But all good. We got the core of the loot, and that's the main thing that matters. Let's go back to armor. Okay, so we did that. So only other thing we really need to focus on now is getting more EXP for this thing. Which we'll probably just do off as Asian. And it keeps defaulting my kingdom there because I kept spam clicking off the controller. Which kept making it go incorrectly. Hello, Zex. Welcome. I know. Happy Diamond Day. Yeah, so many diamonds on these Sundays. Always worth going for, even if you're a newer player. You should always spend 50 gems on getting the pack in dungeons every single Sunday. Only on Sundays is it worth it. because it gives you 2 gem keys, a celestial, some souls, and most importantly, 80 diamonds. The 80 diamonds alone is worth 50 gems, and the rest is just extra tacked onto it. Here goes your keys for glory. Well, do keep in mind, if you're a far amount away, you might just not want to not even do it. Mostly because, how many did you say you're away? Like 10 celestials? But how many keys you have, you probably won't be able to get 10 celestials off of it. However, you could get some and then try farming the rest off Explore. And just hope you get lucky enough off Explore during that time. We should all place bets on what day Lochnar ends up joining another guild. Oh no, I feel like he should right now. I really do not advise soloing in a guild. That is a very, very bad idea. Though people have done it before. The highest level in the entire game did it at one point. But he was so active that he literally was his own guild. So that was a little bit of a different story. There was at one point he was playing for like 10 hours a day. Like consistently for months on end. Wait, how did you get banned? How could you do such a thing? You switch to Leprechaun, LD. What's LD again? Mother of Darkness and Arachnean Weaver. I'm trying to remember what LD is. But yeah, Mother of Darkness with Arachnean Weaver is a pretty nice synergy. They cover every color. And they both do a true damage that double taps. Oh, life and death. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I believe I mentioned this earlier in the stream too, but Life and Death is available if you don't currently own it on Tuesday. It's one of the better weapons in the game. It's also great synergy for Mother of Darkness. But that's available on Tuesday and only this Tuesday. Then it won't be available for like another 5 months until the factions rotate around again. We're starting to get to the point where factions are starting to take a very long time before they rotate. Just because of the sheer number of factions we have. Actually, I believe after this next faction rotation, we'll have every faction in the entire game once the next rotation goes around. Because of how long the rotation will take just to go around. Because, of course, every 4 months or so we get a new faction. Until we eventually run out of kingdoms. And at 5.0, we're getting the new faction kind of thing. That's probably happening this summer. Or, you know, the thing that's going to be replacing new kingdoms once factions end up getting fully depleted. Because currently, the whole point of factions is basically to replace the whole kingdom mechanic that we used to have in the past, where we used to get a new kingdom every few months. But eventually, of course, we're going to have every faction as well. So we'll have to see what they do with that then. And that should be happening in 5.0. It hasn't been 100% confirmed for then, but it seemed like 5.0 was when they were planning on adding it, which should be later this summer. What do we need here? Grab that. Instant kill. And dead. But after we get Barbarian to 70, we can start focusing on Arnifix again. But we need to get this thing leveled, because if Grashnok ever gets more troops, it is going to immediately be needing higher class level. And if we already had this class leveled, then we won't need to worry about it. You run Jar of Eyes, Corsair, Grey King with Mother of Darkness. Yeah, the Grey King actually, that was probably one team where I didn't really mind having Grey King on it, to be honest. Combined with Mother of Darkness. That's one team where it actually does feel like he synergizes pretty well. Where I kind of like the playstyle of him. $35 gem keys and 128 glory keys, and so far 2 celestials. That's actually pretty good. That's above drop rate. Biggest gem key 0.2% chance, and glory key 0.1% chance per key. But I never even realized that until you brought that up right now, or until we looked at it. But yeah, glory keys have 5 times the rate of celestials relative to value. Never realized they were that much better. So if you happen to not get enough for Doomed Crossbow, it's not too big a deal. I don't feel like I use the red one too often, for the most part. Green I use at least like 80% of the time. The rest are very situational depending on the team. But still good to have all 6 of the better Doom weapons eventually. The red one's only available during Cinder Mirage events. And given that Cinder Mirage has so few troops, there's a possibility we'll be getting another Cinder Mirage events in a couple months. Like 3 or 4 months from now. I don't think we currently know that far ahead, but there's a good chance it will happen. Also, once we get another level on Hero, I think we'll hand out a code. Not sure how close we are because I haven't been paying attention to level ups. But once we get next level, we'll hand out code. But I don't think we got a single Celestial from Explorer during this stream. I haven't been grinding too much, though. You should only be getting about 1 or 2 Celestials per hour from Explorer. Unless you get really lucky. Though, of course, you can go 0 in an hour. But if you're winning at least 3 times a minute, you should be getting about 1 to 2 per hour. I believe it is 1% chance per battle. And at 3 per minute, you're getting 180 battles done. And this team can do slightly better than 3 per minute, which would give you 2 Celestial chances. Or on average, luck. It should give you about 2 Celestial drops per hour. Which is why it's about 1 to 2 per hour. Hello, Tyranny! Welcome. So we're getting somewhat close to a hero level as well. Hey, Jewel Gnome, please drop us diamonds. I mean, not diamonds. I meant key. Vault key. I guess diamonds too. If you're gonna drop us anything, I guess that's slightly better than the small amount of jewels. And of course we just get a small amount of jewels. Why must you have such a bad drop table? Well, you got pretty lucky on the initial keys at least. Replace all kingdoms. When I say replace all kingdoms. But yeah, Lochnar, your best bet at this point is basically to spam Explore then. Because I think you've exhausted pretty much every other method that you can for gaining Celestials other than that. So just pick like Explore 2 or 3, whichever one you can one-shot. Pretty much do exactly what we're doing now and just hope you get lucky. I don't know. I feel like red Doomed Crossbow could potentially be worth it. Though it is a lot of resources to have to put down for it. However, if you happen to not get it, Glaceon is a somewhat okay alternative. However, it uses completely different coloration, but its ability is very similar to what Doomed Crossbow does. Yeah, every red kingdom gives rupees if you were low on reds for crafting Dawnbringer or for crafting Doomed Crossbow. Every red kingdom in the game on one of the challenges gives red shards or red jewels. I mean, those rubies. You can tell what color they are by what deed they use. Whatever deed color they use is the color of the kingdom. Same as whatever hero mastery color it is. So, for example, you can see that Pride Lands, for example, is red. Because if we go under the Kingdom Info page, or not Kingdom Info, what page was it on? Under Power page. Nope, not Power. We'll get it right eventually. Underneath the level of the kingdom, you can see what the gem mastery is, as well as the deed color. And from this, you can tell what color the kingdom is. And as you can see, it's red. And any of them that are red will give red jewels off of them, off of one of the challenges. I think it's the 6th challenge? I forget what number it was. Exactly. That takes a little bit to grind, though. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Back to Zision. Hello, Remenford. Hello, Osman. You crafted Sky Hero last week. Any team suggestions for Guild War Defend and Attack? You don't have Tapon. Well, you can use it with Yagwe Queen Titania team in replacement of Tapon. So you can do something like a... I'm not sure about Guild War Offensive, but defensively, you can use Sky Hero, Yagwe Queen Titania, and then just use a mana generator in the back, like a Leprechaun to get you going, or whatever you haven't really used for one of your other days. Just kind of roll it like that. Because Sky Hero works very good for feeding Yagwe Queen Titania. It also works pretty good with Divinish Ball Aquilin, if you happen to not be using that team yet. It's the same coloration as Rope Dart, if I'm not mistaken. So if you don't own Rope Dart, you can basically use that as your Rope Dart in a Yagwe Queen, or in a Tapon, or, gosh, not Tapon. I'll say it right eventually. In a Quilin Divinish Bala team. So for example, your team could be something like Sky Hero, Divinish Bala, Bunny, and then Quilin all the way in last slot, or something along those lines. And you can use Sky Hero to feed them. Because Divinish Bala creates a bunch of yellow, and then that yellow's turned to red off of Sky Hero. And those reds fill up everything you pretty much need on the team that does damage. And the bunny also creates yellow, which you convert to reds off of Sky Hero. That's a defend team, though, not an offensive team. Any idea when Fair Shara will be in Soulforge? If I'm not mistaken, the cycle just recycled. So Fair Shara could still be a while. Oh yeah, Bunny equals Moon Rabbit. I keep forgetting its exact name. I just always call it Bunny. But yeah, Moon Rabbit is what I meant to say. I just always call it Bunny, because it's the only really relevant bunny character in the game. He was very recent, but I don't believe he was on this cycle. And this was last week. I don't think it was last week, though. I can go double check real quick. But I'm pretty sure he has not happened yet on this cycle. 1 second. And if he hasn't, he could be literally any week. He was pretty recently, that is true, but I believe he was recent on the previous cycle. Let me double check. Where's the Soulforge history? Let's see, has Fair Shara happened yet this cycle? The answer is... Oh wait, the cycle hasn't even ended yet? I thought it was very near an end. Never mind, the cycle's still going. Could have sworn it was near ending. Never mind. Well, has Fair Shara happened this cycle? How about that? Let's see. Fair Shara has, but we're nearing the end of the cycle. I thought the cycle already repeated. How many mythics are there in the game? Let's see. 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I already miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 42. We've gone through 42 mythics so far. And one of them was Ferris Ra. How many mythics are there these days? That sounds like almost all of them. Let's see, how many mythics are there total? Troops, do it by base rarity. 42 have occurred so far. Where's base rarity? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is that? 48, 50. It's 50 of them. However, we minus 2. So 48. So how many did I say was on the things? Oh gosh, I just forgot. But there's 48 mythics. How many have occurred already? I believe I said 42. So my bad. The cycle isn't done yet. It still has 2 more weeks until it finishes. And Ferris Ra is not in this cycle. However, it is theoretically possible he's in the next cycle. But yeah, we only have 6 troops left. I'm not sure what 6 those are. But if I counted that right, we should only have 6 more mythics that will be coming to Soulforge. Because there's 48 total. Well, technically there's 50 total, but 2 of them will never appear. It's Zugoff and Xenos, because they're always available. But the other 48 can. So that means there's 6 mythics that haven't happened yet. What 6 they are, I have no clue. But there's 6 of them currently on this cycle that haven't happened, and then it will recycle. And at that point, Ferris Ra will be available. So that means Ferris Ra could be as available as early as next week's Monday. Not tomorrow Monday, but next week's Monday is the earliest we could see Ferris Ra again. But yeah, tomorrow is the last week of this cycle. And that technically means next week's Monday we'll guarantee know what 2 of the troops are. However, I'm not sure if anyone wants to go and do the inverse of it all to figure out what 2 of the troops those are. But theoretically, we know 2 of the 4 troops that will appear on next week's Monday. However, we cannot guess anything for next week. We know 6 of them that can be, but we don't know which one of those 6 it will be. But anyways, let me go hand out code. I did say when we get a level, we'll hand out code, and that is a level, so let's do code. We'll probably try getting one more on it. Get the farm in there. Gotta get it leveled eventually. And doing a little bit each day is the easiest way to get it there. Oops, I already used that one. Forgot to mark it earlier. This one should be good, though. Oh, nope. Okay, apparently I forgot to mark 2. Okay, apparently I forgot to mark 3. Gosh, I need to go mark these right now. I haven't been marking several of these. I keep forgetting. I'll say, like, I'll go do it after stream. And then I, like, forget to do it after stream. But here you guys go. Here is the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com. Read the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu, whatever your game says in the bottom left right over there. Ha! It says bug. Barbarian class is bugged. It's just random letters, but that's kind of funny that it has a bug in it. Haha, quite literally. But give same loot as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. And it's only usable on PC mobile version. And used on gemsofwar.com. Read the game code section, or simply click that link. But there you guys go. Go use the bug code. The bugged code. Okay, anyways, let's go into this. I know the code knows. The code knows what they did wrong. They're trying to soul farm, and that's the main troop you need, yeah. He definitely helps speed up soul farming to such a degree that if you're actually planning on crafting Ferris Ra and aren't just completely skipping him, you should pretty much just wait until you own Ferris Ra before you ever bother doing a hefty amount of soul farming. Only 1 copy of him almost doubles your soul farming rate. Well, not exactly double, but it's a really substantial increase to it. 2 of them definitely doubles your rate, though. But each Ferris Ra you get is about a 10 to 15,000 soul increase per hour or so. At least for the first 2. Anything beyond that is diminishing return by quite a bit. The first one has the most value, and the second one has the second most value. Every amount of Ferris Ra beyond that you don't technically need. My Switch account got pretty lucky. It crafted Ferris Ra as first mythic, and then randomly got another Ferris Ra. That is one pretty nice thing about a owning Fershra as one of your earlier mythics, if you do happen to go for him pretty early, is aside from being able to soul farm early to go get Dawnbringer stuff, one other thing that it has as an advantage is it's one of the only few mythics in the game, whereas if you accidentally get a second copy of it, it's actually beneficial rather than disappointing. Because quite a few mythics, even good mythics like Iron Gut and such things like that, they might be good to have. However, if you get a second copy of them, it's bad because you have basically no use for the second copy. But Fershra is one of those weird troops where second copy is pretty much just as beneficial as the first copy. There's a few other mythics like that too, like Ketris and others. However, Fershra has the absolute biggest benefit of having a second copy compared to any other mythic. You generally don't go out of your way to get the second copy, and just kind of hope you randomly get it. But some people do go out of their way for it. But as soon as you have one Fershra copy, it's good enough to soul farm with. Because one Fershra teams can still get around 35 to 40,000 or so souls per hour or so. Forget the exact rate in the current state of the game, but it should be easily solid, upwards of 35,000 per hour. With one Fershra. Any tips for putting medals into troops, priorities, farming, etc.? I did a video on it a little while back, the top 4 to level on every single rarity. Aside from that, it basically just depends on what you want to upgrade. As far as commons, you tend to mostly put it into Guardian troops. For rares, you tend to put it mostly into Bounty Hunter troops. For ultra rares, you tend to mostly put them into utility troops that are actually useful, that you tend to use a lot. Even if their bonus isn't necessarily that good. For example, Leprechaun doesn't really gain that good of a bonus. However, it's so overly used that it's technically beneficial to upgrade it. As far as epics, there aren't really too many that are worth going for. I would mostly say Gargoyle and Rowan are 2 of the higher priorities, but they're a little bit expensive to get up with how many ends up taking. Legends, I would say Yalgway and Queen Titania are the first ones you'd kind of want to go for, just because they gain some of the highest amount of benefit of any legend from being upgraded, and they work pretty well together. And other than that, mythics, that's kind of a whole thing in itself, just because it's so hard to actually get them up. And they tend to switch out a meta quite a bit as far as mythics are concerned. So as far as mythics, I wouldn't really bother upgrading any yet. And the main reason for that is, for one, you need to make sure you have at least 4 Nishas before you even start upgrading any mythics, because you need to have 3 spare medals of Nisha, and then your 4th would actually go into a troop. So very few people are actually at that point yet, probably less than 1% in the game or so. And aside from that, I don't know, you'd kind of want to wait until you have enough, or I don't know, I personally will be waiting before I ever upgrade a mythic to make sure I have enough to max it completely. And the main reason for this is if you start partially maxing out a mythic, there's a possibility that by the time you have enough Nishas to actually fully max it, it might not be meta anymore. Because depending on what you're doing to farm Nishas, it could take you months before you end up having enough to really max it out. And by months, I mean like 6 months, 9 months. And by that point, you might have already had another mythic come into the game that's going to be better upgrade than it. We'll probably get a mythic eventually that'll be like the definitive option for it. At this current moment in time, I'd probably say Iron Gut. But Iron Gut is increasingly becoming less viable in the game. He's still just as good as he's always been for killing out Delves, and is a great option if you have no other option. But I don't know, I've been personally preferring Truffle in most situations more than him. There just still instances where you run instant kill rather than it. Especially as stats go higher and higher. You've been trying to get Knights Coronets for your Mountain Crusher, Elwyn, Rowan team. Yeah, there's pretty decent synergy with it. But haven't gotten him yet. Well, you'll be able to next week. He'll be in the event key drop table. Do you have any suggestions for replacement if you find him? Well, you'll easily be able to get him next week. You can go use some of your Spear Glory to get 10 event keys from the Spoils of War, or whatever event keys you already have laying around. Not only is there going to be a new legend within the event key drop table next week, but it's Sword's Edge event. So Knight Coronet's going to be super common. It's probably only going to take you like 3 to 5 event keys to get yourself a Knight Coronet copy. Probably 10 at most. So if you don't already have 10 event keys, you can just get them off of 1,800 Glory, off of Spoils of War. Or you can get them by doing guild tasks, of course, as well. But yeah, it'll be super easy to get Knight Coronet next week. Someone disliked the stream? That's fine. Dislikes help more than doing nothing. So I appreciate every dislike. Also, it helps to know if we're ever doing anything wrong. However, there seems to always be this random dislikes, which aren't really that helpful. But, yeah, technically a dislike helps more than doing nothing. So feel free to leave a like. Or a dislike. Either or works. Let's see. We'll go throw that down. And just throw down the ruin. I appreciate your hate. It powers us. Is there any other mythic troop besides Farish Ra and Ketris where it is beneficial to have a second copy? Yes, situationally. Let me go double check the full list. I'd have to look at every single mythic individually. There's not that many. There's a few that you could kind of say are, like Tina, but I wouldn't really advise going out of your way to get a second. Let's see. What is the full list? And these are generally mythics that are considered extremely safe to craft, because if you ever accidentally get a second copy, you don't need to worry about it. What am I looking for? I'm looking for base rarity sort. So every single mythic that is okay to get a second copy of that would still be usable. Aquaticus, though it's not advised. Let's see. Other ones. Double Famine used to be meta, but it's not anymore, though. But currently it's Uriali. Or did I say Uriali? I meant Aquaticus. Sorry, I was looking at Uriali. Aquaticus. Megavore. Ketris the Bull. Farish Ra. And I believe that's the full list. A couple of these theoretically could be, but you wouldn't really want to have multiple. I heard some people use multiple Grey King. Multiple Grey King's about as useful as multiple Tina. I wouldn't really advise it, but theoretically it can be done. Yeah, that's pretty much the full list. And the only ones I would say are really, really high up there are mostly just Farish Ra and Ketris and Megavore. Those three are probably the biggest ones, where if you were to have a second copy, that second copy is pretty much just as beneficial as your first copy. There are a few other instances that could theoretically use it. However, the second copy is quite a bit diminished compared to the first. Whereas for these three instances, they're both about the same value. Especially Ketris the Bull ever since that one new troop came into the game. Honestly, that's probably one of the biggest synergies that has actually come up in recent times for him. Yasmin's Pride, with Tula, what's that one word? With double catches the bull. Wait, what's that one word? I will get it. Tulio? Tulio. So, Yasmin's Pride, Tulio, and double catches the bull. Tulio ends up making that team even more meta than it already was. And it's one of the reasons why having double of him is actually pretty good. I guess Tina can technically use the same benefit as well, because it has overlap on green. So Tina can actually benefit quite a bit from that Tulio combo. Except you wouldn't use Yasmin's Pride, you would use a mana generating weapon instead, rather than Yasmin's Pride. It wouldn't upscale, but it would have a lot of true damage very quickly. Yeah, I have heard Double Grey King is pretty decent. I haven't actually been able to test it myself, because I actually don't own Double Grey King, oddly enough. But I have heard from some people that it's pretty decent. So is Double Tina, which I do have, and have used before. Like Mountain Crusher, or actually Essence of Evil, Tulio, and Double Tina would actually be pretty solid. Or maybe even Jar of Eyes instead, and just kind of go for the mana generation method. And then you can use Tulio and green to mana generate your entire team. Hey, whoa. We just got a Vault Key. It's not a Vault event. What are you doing dropping us the precious Vault Key? But as you can see, it is still possible to get Vault Keys off of not Vault event. It's very rare, though. It's technically 9 times less likely. Because not only... because whenever there's a Vault event, 2 things get multiplied. The chance of you getting a Vault Key is increased by 3 times. But the chance of you finding a gnome is also increased by 3 times. So theoretically, it's like a 9 times increase. So it's 9 times less likely to get one during a non-gnome event, but it's still possible. Basically, every 1 Vault Key you get when it's not a Vault event is the equivalent of about 9 Vault Keys when it's a gnome event. So it's pretty rare. But it still happens. Ever so occasionally. It's why it seems like you never get Vault Keys when it's not a Vault event. It's still possible, it's just 9 times less likely. What do we grab here? Take that for now. Actually, what is our Vault Key stack these days? It should almost be at 150. Yep, 139. We're getting there. Tacet facts. Yeah, they did one event where it was 5 times multiplier too. That was extremely absurd how common they were at that point. Mostly because they said they would release something on a Friday, and then like last minute they had to completely cancel it all, and then to like make it up to everyone, it's like, here's a really beefed up Vault event. It was the only time they ever buffed it beyond the normal amount. I kind of wish they would do it again. That was like absurdly good loot. They've only ever done it once before though, like that. Something else this game used to have like 4 years ago, like when the game first started 4.5 years ago, we used to have weekends where we would get bonuses for various things. Technically, Vault Event is the new version of that. However, there were weekends where we used to get like 100% extra EXP bonus, or like 3 times or 2 times the gold for various things. It doesn't really happen anymore. However, they kind of have like a weekly, monthly system for that now, which kind of has replaced it. Like this week where you get 400 additional gold from using the Glory Troop and Battle Crashers and just gnomes in general and gnome events, all of which didn't exist back then. So they kind of have a system like that. However, we don't actually have those EXP weekends anymore, or the gold weekends or anything like that. I think there was even one for souls at one point, where you got like 50% or 100% more extra souls for a weekend, which obviously would have been really good for soul farming if that still existed in the game. Those soul farming rates were way lower when those events were actually going on. Like the highest you could even do in the entire game was like a few thousand an hour, when they were still doing like 2 times soul event things. You do that now, you could get over 100,000 souls an hour. Which would obviously be pretty broken. Pretty broken indeed. Queen of Sin times 3, I would not advise doing that. Though that would be a lot of stat reduction, that's for sure. It reduces a random stat per extra turn by 4. I actually did craft multiple plagues for that reason when he first came out. I got 3 Plague Lords so we could spam extra turn him. Actually, I believe I originally went for 2, and then it went to 3, then it went to 4, and now I have more Plagues than probably anyone in the game. I think we're sitting on 11 copies of Plagues. I think it's 10 or 11. It's definitely double digits at this point. Not sure why, I just have so many more copies of him. I think the highest amount of any mythic I have relative to him is like 4 or 5. Yeah, I somehow have 10 or 11 Plagues. Which I'm pretty sure is the most amount of Plagues of anyone in the game. Unless someone else got similarly unlucky. Let's see. We'll go for that for now. However, he was the 3rd mythic added in the game, so some people might have accumulated a lot of him just over time. I'll take that for now. I do wish you could convert your mythics into other mythics, though. It's kind of weird that this game has no option for it. It's something I thought they were going to do when they were adding diamonds to the game, but they never ended up doing it. Being able to disenchant legends and mythics for some amount of diamonds or shards. That would have been perfect, but for whatever reason, they didn't end up implementing it. Like, I can understand not doing it for the other 3 lower rarities, because there's just so many, or other 4 lower rarities, just because there's so many of those troops in the game. But I'm really surprised they didn't do it for Legends and Mythics. Even if it's only 10% of value, it'd still be better than nothing. If they had a way to disenchant Legends and Mythics into 10% of the amount of diamonds. So that means Legends would become 80 diamonds, and Mythics would become 400 diamonds. Really wish that was a thing. Unfortunately, it is not. You never know, they might eventually implement it, though. Because as more and more things cost diamonds in the game, it kind of would be useful. But they are kind of hesitant to adding more diamonds to the game. But if they were ever to do a method, I feel like that would be one of the better ways. Because you can't really convert any of your useless mythics to anything right now. Be kind of cool if you could. But anyways, guys, does anyone else have the coronavirus? No. Yeah, how many plagues do we have before we end out for now? But does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, we'll be covering the event video soon, TM. And, yeah, I have 10 plagues. Oh, I thought it was 11. But yeah, we're at 10. Double digits. Only mythic I have that high. But tomorrow we'll be back at normal time, an hour prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll mostly be messing around with the new night, most likely, and preparing for Guild Wars, since next week, of course, is Guild Wars, and I believe we're going to be Paragon for it again. So I need to make sure all of our defend teams are good and everything like that. But yeah, we'll be messing with that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and hour prior to now, tomorrow, and we'll get to see what we can do. I'll mess around with the new legend that has half mana start to all night, see what kind of weird teams we can build out of that. And Knights are probably also going to have 10% bonus. If I could guess what bonus will be next week, it's probably 10% to Sword's Edge and 10% to all Knights, or it'll be 10% to all humans and 10% to all Knights, or it'll be 10% to all beasts and 10% to all Knights. One of those three is probably going to be the bonuses for next week. It's definitely going to be 10% Knights. That's like a 100% chance going to happen. Best place to farm gold. You can do this in Explore. Explore 12 is pretty much the best method. Particularly using the Scorpius team for Explore 12, which is Mountain Crusher as Titan, followed by Scorpius, followed by Leprechaun, followed by Reali, if you happen to have that composition. And it can farm about, I believe it was 400,000 gold per hour. Just doing any quick Explore 12 team can also net you about 300 to 450,000 gold per hour. Also, Key team with double Cedric, Skeleton Key, and Greed. Or is it Leprechaun? Actually, I believe it's Leprechaun. So you do that with Leprechaun. I believe that has a similar gold rate per hour. I think it's around 400,000, 450,000. It's a lot cheaper to build. Best reflection of good team? I'm not sure if it really has anything overly meta. I was messing around with it some with Mother of Darkness, and it seemed okay. I'm not actually sure what definitively would be the best team for it at this exact moment in time. I personally don't care for it as much. Like, it's great for web spinners and other things that have really good first slot value. However, no, it's actually not as good in a Shabanu team, or at least from what I've tested so far. I don't feel like it's as good in a Shabanu team, personally. I don't know. I really don't like it compared to Essence of Evil or Mountain Crusher. I really feel like they're just better. Like, Essence of Evil is just way better than Mirror of Good. Or Reflect, whatever it's called, the Reflection of Good. But, I don't know. Essence of Evil is like twice as good as it, personally, I would say. I would honestly just stick with Essence of Evil team. Because if you had to pin, like, which one's better, Essence of Evil or Reflection of Good, it's not even close. It's Essence of Evil. Just because you can completely disable enemies, get free kills out of nowhere, and just spam it and just auto-win once the entire team gets disabled. And nothing really runs indestructible in PvP kind of situations. So you can just disable everything in those kind of situations. It even works pretty good for Explore 12 if you were looking for options to use for it. Yeah, literally just Essence of Evil with pretty much anything is fine for killing out Explore 12. Might be a little bit towards the slower side, but it would win. Let's see. You just check Terran's World and see what's paired in Mythic 13, but not Mythic 14, to see what next week will be. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. You could always... Wait, what do you mean by that? Yeah, I guess you could check comparatively what was already on the list compared to the other. However, that's not the best method to use because another mythic was added to the game within that time. Or possibly multiple. As well as... Well, that's the main thing. Is more mythics were added to the game, so that won't always be a perfectly accurate method. I'm not even sure what the most accurate method is. I wish someone would make a tool for it. I'm actually surprised it's not on Terran's World site automatically, because we don't currently have a tool, I don't believe, anywhere, unless someone is aware of one, where it automatically tells you what mythics are still within drop table. There's nothing that automatically determines that yet. And it's really annoying having to manually figure it out, because you have to take every single mythic that's currently on rotation, which is currently 42, compare it to the ones that aren't, which is currently 48, and then figure out what the rest are, which means we know there are 6 and guarantee what those 6 are, but we'd have to compare every single mythic to it to figure out what it is, and that would take like like half an hour to do manually each time you'd want to do it. So I personally haven't done it yet, but I might do it for next week so we know what guarantee the other 2 troops are for next week's Sunday night, just so we know. But yeah, I didn't do it for tomorrow yet. And we're not going to do it on stream because it's going to take way too long. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. We have quite a few things going on next week, technically related to that, between pets and the calendar and other things like Battle Crasher. And I'll just kind of have to wait and see what else they might end up bringing. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Also, we'll probably be getting 100 gems or whatever off the thing, because the 14th will probably count as a holiday in that regard. I'm not sure if they're always going to give 100 gems like they did for Lunar New Year, but we should have something shiny in that regard on that day. And we'll probably have a normal calendar as well, which will give some of the pet and something else. Also, speaking of calendar, we actually get Mythic Ink gets this calendar year. I mean, this calendar month. It's nice because we actually end up getting 9 of them. which ends up accumulating so we can finally get this done. I think I need like 400 more. But anyways, guys, I'm just rambling now. Have a good night. Thank you so much for stopping by. Leave a like if you enjoyed the stream, and we'll be back tomorrow. Same time as always, and we'll have the event video up very soon. Goodbye, everyone.